look at people closest around someone when they disagree. Sometimes it may be offensive to parents when they ask some of the questions you have, but the parents are the last ones to see it. We've got to ask certain questions to rule them out and move on to other people. We interviewed many people, including Rashonda's mother, Linda, actually. How is the normal evolution? Was that the normal, abnormal?
Some features on my browser might not work.
That's the thing. I guess if she would have just told me something,
until I remove some of my apps some of the apps I've started on my...
Even after her mom, do you really have to go? And I said, well, yes, I gotta go to work, but just, why is she asking all this,
I felt like Linda was just laying out what she knew, and she was very open and forthright. I don't think she was lying about it. I think she just really didn't know what happened.
There's a number of things that you've been wondering about. Well, what's most probable? Well, most probable is he take her out somewhere and rape her. Okay, so you're thinking that someone abducted her and then raped her? Yeah. Okay, so, then what? Well, we could use praying that she hasn't killed her. But as time goes on, Linda's been thinking, detectives come up there and they keep surmising that somebody's taken her out and raped and killed her. We're trying not to believe that, but as time goes on, we can't help but think about that.
Disqualification.
Some people in the family thought maybe Stephen Pickle was to blame. We know from court records he had sexually abused another child. Children are not safe in his care. His own daughter didn't feel safe in his care.
Well, that's kind of what I thought Rashonda was running like.
I love my kids, and you ask Linda, she'll tell you when we were together and they were little kids and stuff, I was a good father. I was a good father. That's why we were every night and that was living.
Okay. So, when you cousin Shannon missing, what did she say exactly?
She asked me she said, Susan, did you come up here and get Shannon while I was at work? And I told her she couldn't be. Got a $5 drive up there and back anyway. And that barely would have had time to go up there and turn around and go straight back.
He was not in the area during the time in which Rashonda went missing. He was in Medford, a long ways away, with his son. But John could not account for his time.
Well, you found out that I did something. However, I did not know that in the family.
Richanda Pickle is still missing. Friends and family scramble for answers. What really happened that day? How did it happen? Only the one who took her knew the truth. And of course the trees. The trees always saw the monster's deception.
99, the mechanic. You were sent home, and then you went for a while, and you came back, and Shannon was gone, is that right? Yeah.
John goes to work, comes back early, which in and of itself is not unusual, but it's a flag. Why would you come home early? He talks to Richanda. He leaves. He comes back, she's gone.
This is my life
He's
thing.
worried about her, even though he doesn't see her anywhere. The location, those things are flags. And then as the afternoon and the evening rolls on, there's still no concern. That's going to be a flag.
The whole thing seems very odd. No one is calling 911 on a 13-year-old child, in this rugged environment who rarely stays from home. Then this development happens that really stood out to investigators.
I want to know in detail what's happened then. I leave you see it that night. Well, yes, it's, about 7:30.
On the day of his stepdaughter's disappearance, he is all over Linda. And then when asked by police, well, how was it? He goes on to describe this encounter.
It's great. That's great. Great time.
Anybody that's been a parent knows that gut-wrenching feeling when your kids are 5 minutes late, let alone you come home and they're not there and you can't find them. Something you said before she was reported missing. That night, they had the best sex of their married life.
I was starting to study the bill out. That didn't bother you sexual things now. It's just the usual kind of stuff, I have very little sexual interest. Nobody's always saying I'm weird on my sexual appetite. Very excessive in sexual. Not very much.
Detectives were suspicious because in other cases, men may have difficulty getting after unless they're committed to an act of violence.
I have not yet started.
Sweet home. Right there in the foothills. And so there's green trees and beautiful mountains, and it's just like this picturesque little quaint small town. Some days it can be like idyllic and sunny, and you look out and you're like, oh, it's so beautiful here. It looks so pretty to the eye. But the spirit is not pretty. I remember thinking, sweet home. There's something sweet about this place. There's a lot of hidden secrets inside that town.
Still ovulating.
I remember talking to our officers. I remember telling them, we know who did this. We know what happened. One day, when Richanda's 9 or 10, she started coming to school with real apparent signs of abuse. She was not doing her hair as much, which was a big deal before. She was anxious, not smiling as much, and just sad. I do remember she had a black eye and she had like a little cut under her eye.
She would literally count down the hours. It'd be exactly 2 hours before we have to go home. She's like, oh my gosh, 2 hours and we're going home. I'm like, I know, because I didn't want to go home either.
My stepdad was very physically, emotionally abusive, sexually abusive, and that was our life.
I mean, it's not like I asked Richanda, are you being molested? I just remember she taps me on the shoulder. And she said, you know what you told me that happened to you and Mandy? And I said, yeah? She's like, well, that's happening to me.
her stepdad, John Ackroyd, is coming in to her room.
I think that's what brought out a lot of our talks and just knowing that we all felt like we were going to hell.
I remember one night, I'm 14, Rachenda's 13. My mom was gone. I think she was staying down at Sweet Home. It was just John, Rachenda, and me. I don't even know how I woke up, but woke up. And there was John in Rachenda's bedroom, kneeling down on the side of her bed. And Rachenda's there in bed. And it was weird. I'm like, what's going on? Allegedly, John heard Rachenda, you know, possibly having a nightmare, screaming, "Mom, no!" and went in there. And I thought that was weird. So I asked Rachenda, what's going on? She said, I don't want to talk about it. I'm like, Rachenda, what's going on?
One day, Rachanda told an adult, a trusted person, what was happening.
And we're like, good for you, Rachanda, good for you. But she honestly, she never said anything. What happened after that?
I also have confided in the same adult about what's happening in our home. And I remember just saying, I'm tired of getting beat up. I'm tired of getting hit. I'm tired of my stepdad coming into our room. And I remember in my heart, I felt like I was at the end of a tunnel. I knew the police officers were coming. We were going to be saved. And then this trusted person. It's like, I didn't really feel like you were telling the truth. So they're not going to do anything. And they left it at that. And so when Rachanda went and told them, I feel in my heart that nothing happened. That they ignored her.
And she was really, really scared because she told about the flood news. So she was scared on what John Ackroyd might do.
It requires so much for a child to come forward, and then for that to be treated with indifference is deeply upsetting. Clearly there was a culture that allowed men not to be held accountable. Sexual abuse and rape at the time was not investigated and treated the way it is by police today.
While we were out searching in the woods for Rachanda, I was one of the people that was assigned to be with John. And he would talk about things that were so strange. Talking about like his stepdaughter's breast size and what she's wearing. And about her periods, we kept talking about Rachanda in the past tense, not the present. Then when we decided to change on some other subject, that's when he started talking about Kate Turner.
It's about August. Soon have been 8 months after Kate Turner went missing. This guy comes into the store and says that he found some clothes in the woods. I remembered really vividly. It's etched there because it was strange. He just said he was the last one to see her alive. I didn't know at the time.
John Ackroyd goes to the Camp Sherman store and says, I found the missing daughter's clothing. Then he says, why did I have to find her? I was the last one to see her alive. It's an alarming statement. And he would later say he was the last person to see his stepdaughter Rachanda alive.
Ackroyd